Oh, it's just Jord.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this very special video. Now, if you've read the title, I'm pretty sure you know what's coming up. So, welcome to this Little Nightmares talk with TheGamingBeaver. I'd just like to say, before we get into the questions and whatnot, thank you ever so much to TheGamingBeaver for doing this. He has took the time out of his day to do this for us and answer these questions, and some from the community as well, which is really exciting. So with that being said, let's get into the video. Make sure you subscribe to TheGamingBeaver and let's crack on. Who is your favourite character in the Little Nightmares universe?
I think my favorite character in the Little Nightmares universe has to be the lady. She's not as scary in appearance per se as a lot of the other characters in the universe, but what makes her unique, and what is unique about Little Nightmares, is it has this mysterious beauty about it, and I think she just perfectly encapsulates it. You take one look at her and you think, why is she here? Why is she wearing the mask? And I think that's exactly what Little Nightmares wants you to ask of it. All these questions that, we may never know the answers to. But you want to know the answers.
What is your favourite chapter?
That's a tough one. That's like asking who's your favourite child. I would have to say, any of the sixes, but I really like the depths. I like the depths from The Secret of the Maw. I like it because you get to revisit a little bit at the start of the nursery or prisons area, and then you get into the underbelly, and it's where this granny's sort of hiding, or this creature, and you don't know where it is, and I don't know, there's just something about that I think is really cool.
If you were given the chance to take a peek at Dave Mervick's ultimate lore guide for Little Nightmares, which topic would you skip to first?
I met him before, and this was before I knew that Little Nightmares was going to be a topic and a game that I was going to cover so extensively on the channel, and I wish I'd talked a lot more to him about the lore. But I would love, if I could skip to any place, I think I would like to know the reason why we have the yellow raincoat. I get the feeling that it's this sort of Legend of Zelda hero's tunic, that not necessarily the kid who wears it is special, but there's powers behind it, and just that. I want to know why yellow raincoat and why 6. What are the numbers, the names? Is she the 6th one? There's a lot to ask. You could go to any part, I think, and it would be interesting. I would also love to know if it is all written out or if he's just making it up as he goes along.
In the Little Nightmares 2 trailer, what were you most surprised to see?
I don't know. I think it's all surprising. I think the only thing that wouldn't be surprising is if we saw reoccurring characters. So in that regard, I'd probably say that 6 is surprising to see, but then again, I don't know if it is 6, because it gives me the feeling that it's a sequel. It's called Little Nightmares 2, but then we see this character put on 6's raincoat. So is it 6? I think the most surprising thing that came out for me was the collectible version that wasn't necessarily shown in the trailer, showing this really long stretched out version of 6, or the raincoat wearer. I think that was what was surprising to me the most.
Do you have any characters that you wish to see in Little Nightmares 2?
Okay, so I like the mystery of Little Nightmares, but I would also like some answers. So I think that the teacher character that's in this one, I'm hoping that that's related to the lady, and that's what I want to see. I want to see some character or relation to the lady. I don't want us to just leave them all and we're on the mainland and there's no answers. I want that to be resolved in some way. Maybe not necessarily, right in your face. It's sort of subtle, like a painting or something like that. That would be nice. So maybe not necessarily a character I would like to see, like, here comes the janitor, hey, there he is again. I just want that wrapped up, I think.
Which enemy was your favourite to go against?
Favorite enemy? You can't ask me that. I love them all. I loved all of them. I think the one that was probably the least satisfying in the end was the granny, but I like the lady. I mean, I have to say, throughout the entire game, she's always there. She's always a presence. You see her at the start. It's a bit like something in Jaws, you know, it's always built up, but you never see it. So by the end of Little Nightmares, you finally get to face off against her. And not necessarily the battle's interesting, but it's what that means. It's now you finally come this far. You're having a head-to-head battle in quotations with the lady. Are answers coming? Are we gonna finally see what happens, what she does, what she controls, what does she even mean to this place? I think that was, for me, what was the most exciting.
Now we have some community related questions, and the first one comes from the Flying Dutchman. And he asks, what does the TheGamingBeaver think the broadcaster would be like? What will his abilities and personality be like? And how will he compare to the lady?
Honestly, I don't know. It looks like he's tied into everything. All throughout, you know, the Little Nightmares universe that we've seen, there's been TVs. Wherever there's been, you know, we've seen it near the janitor. We've seen it where the granny in the depths was. And I mean, it seems like the lore has been cut up into loads of different sections. Like we had the novel, now we've got the Netflix series that's maybe coming, I don't know, eventually. I feel as though he's definitely going to be like, you know, a linchpin of this entire operation. A bit like the lady was with the Moor. So I'm expecting, you know, a big showdown kind of battle like we did with the lady. But I'm really not too sure what to expect. How can we speculate too much? He hasn't said anything or done anything. He's just appeared in TVs.
The next community question comes from Nikolaj, aka Nico. Watching Six become more and more violent in Little Nightmares, starting with her eating bread, to the end eating the lady, how do you think Six will behave in Little Nightmares 2?
Ooh, some dangerous assumptions there. You think it's 6? Do not watch any theories. I don't think it's 6, personally. I think that it's somebody else. I think this is a hero tunic situation, which is probably what I was going to make a video on. But anyway, but if it is 6, it's becoming more violent. Yeah, we should. If it is, and it is a sequel, I would have to say that there would be powers that we saw her gain at the end, and I would also assume that she's trying to take down the whole operation. I couldn't imagine using special powers. I wouldn't think that defeats the point of Little Nightmares to be this powerful being. That's not the position that they want you to take. You want to be, you know, a child in a universe that you don't understand, and you're just trying to get around. And I mean, as soon as you get superpowers, it ain't gonna work. So if it is 6, then it would have to be some way that you would lose the powers, or if you're playing as a quote-unquote new 6. I think the gameplay would probably be a lot similar to what we've seen. Maybe we will see the eating coming back. I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to it. So in other words, if it is the same 6, more violent. If it's not, I would say probably the same.
Now back to some more Little Nightmares questions. So, what is your favourite theory that you've seen?
Favorite theory? Oh, this is where I say all of mine. No, but honestly, I think my favorite theory was the friendly janitor theory. I think it was Tyara Games, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, who came up with that. Or at least that was the video that I first saw it. And from there, it sort of made me think about these monsters, in quotations, that we see in Little Nightmares in a different light. Like, you know, some of them might not be monsters. And I think from there, I started to analyze their behaviors a lot more. And that sort of changed the way that I thought about the lore and the story. But if I was to say my own theory, I liked the way the gnome that I sort of had the theory that the gnome at the end that 6 killed was the runaway kid, just because of the actions, how we see all the other gnomes, and then if he's just been turned into a gnome, maybe that's what the lady does. I like that the best because I was right. That was my favorite. Oh god, like something like that, I'll never get back. Like, way, I predicted it. But yeah, those are my favorites.
In the Little Nightmares 2 trailer, what kind of role do you think the people watching the TV will be? Our enemies? Or people just caught in the crossfire of the signal tower?
I think they'll be a similar situation to the customers in the mall. So they're kind of passive, but if they see you, then, you know, that is death, or they'll grab you and that'll be the end of it. I think that they'll more than likely be our enemies. A bit, I mean, you've seen it with the children in the trailer, how they have hollow heads. Obviously, this is a whole, a talk about how TV is brainwashing and we just absorb information without questioning it, kind of thing. And I mean, this is the broadcaster's technique. This is his power. A bit like the lady who was all about beauty and hiding of appearances. The broadcaster is the control of information and power in that regard. So I think the people will be passive, I think, but we'll see. They're passive but aggressive. Passive-aggressive, I would say.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this Little Nightmares Talks with TheGamingBeaver. I'd just like to say thank you again to TheGamingBeaver. It's such a blast. It's crazy. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to hit like if you enjoyed it. Remember to check out TheGamingBeaver like you haven't already. But anyway, if you enjoyed it, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and who do you think should be the next guest that we talk to about Little Nightmares? Do you have any recommendations? Pop them in the comments below. But with that being said, yet again, I'd like to thank you all for watching. I'd like to thank TheGamingBeaver for taking the time, and I'll see you all in the next theory video. Bye!